everybody. This is Mark Smith and David Conley, the hosts of Digital Roughneck, here with part 2 of our regulatory impact on oil and gas companies. So today we're going to talk about one called OGMP 2.0. And why are we talking about that one today, David?
It is the global, talking about the entire world. OGMP 2.0 stands for Oil and Gas Methane Partnership 2.0. What we're looking at is 30% of oil and gas or energy being produced is represented here in this list of operators. And this is newer in the United States than it is in the rest of the world. So I'll let you kind of touch base on that. But we do have an early adopter customer who's the first North American independent operator that joined this methane partnership. Goal is to get to the level 5 gold standard, and that's basically the source and site leak quantification.
And I have a chart on that. So as you mentioned, 66 companies representing 30% of oil and gas produced. And yeah, Clean Connect, our company, is working to help an operator hit level 5 first. So what the heck is level 5? Okay, so you can see these are the reporting levels. So the level 1 is venture asset reporting. So, you know, you're saying, hey, I can just report at a company level. Okay. All right. Level 2, emissions category. So here's the levels of emissions that I'm doing. Let's get into 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5 are source levels. Okay. So you have to identify the source of the emission, or like source of the leak in that case, source of the emission. So general emission factors. So that's more of a formula. Specific emission factors. And here's level 5. Emissions allocated to the individual source types at a site level. Okay. And the whole goal is to move from formulaic measurements to actual measurements. Okay. So it's a big challenge, right? So let's compare this to other things. If I have a satellite that flies over and says, hey, I see a leak down there, but I can't identify a source level, the highest level you can get to is 2. Okay. So if you can't identify a source level, the highest level is 2. But trust me, when one operator hits level 5, they'll all want to hit level 5. Okay. So let's talk about how this compares. You know, how does it compare to what operators are doing today at state and federal level? What is the actual transition period to move from formula-based emissions, which is what we do today, to actual emissions? What's the hypothesis of operators between formula-based emissions and actual? Well, I'll just tell you flat out. A lot of operators today are doing EPA formula-based emissions, and they believe their actual emissions are in some case an order of magnitude less than what the formula-based are. Okay, so for example, if EPA says, hey, you're emitting 2%, some operators believe they're doing 0.02%, right? An order of magnitude less. How does that difference impact operators? Well, I'll tell you how they do it, because when you do an emissions inventory, you total up all your emissions and you multiply by the ton of HAP gases or methane gases, and you write a check to a regulator. So it can make a difference of hundreds of thousands of dollars. Okay. But as we move forward with new federal regulations, it will make even more difference than that, millions of dollars of difference. Okay?
Yeah. One note that I took was a lot of the operators believe they're doing a lot less. I've heard a lot of operators say, yeah, we want to cut our emissions by 50% by X year or whatever, or, you know, you can plug in the numbers. Every operator has some sort of goal like that. Well, just being able to hit level 5 and understanding the site, the source quantification, or the source, you know, amount, the actual measurement, you could probably achieve that goal just with that one simple, you know, actually measuring at the source level.
Now, there's a difference. When you say emissions inventory, the question is, what do you mean? So, you know, at the state level, like Colorado, you measure HAPs, hazardous air pollutants. There's 187 of them. Okay, EPA, you're measuring methane. Okay, Quad OA, OGMP 2.0, you're measuring methane. And ESG, I put TBD, right? They're all saying net zero, right? But they haven't really come up with a specific, nowhere near the specificity as state and these other ones here. How do you measure? Bottoms up. Okay, you can't just say I'm going to hit net zero. How do they do emissions inventory? Bottoms up meaning you literally put every single piece of equipment and event. So I got a flare, I got a this, I open the flare, I shut the flare, I open this thing, right? Literally every piece of equipment, every event from the bottoms up against a formula that says, okay, if I open the thief hatch, the formula says I released X number of tons and I closed it, right? And so it's all bottoms up. And today it's manual, okay? And the state EPA, OGMP are formulaic based. Hey, here's a formula, and here's what it is. But OGMP is saying, well, you got a formula now, but we want you to start to migrate to actual measuring. Okay, and then frequency. The state, Colorado is monthly today, but they're moving to continuously on all new sites. Other states are, at EPA level every 6 months or less. So some states may say, oh, you got to do every month or every 3 months or whatnot. Okay. OGMP 2.0 is starting to head toward continuous, and which is interesting, right? So, how is OGMP 2 going to impact emission reporting? Well, it's going to lead to standardized emission reporting. So if the US federal EPA standards recognize OGMP 2.0, then states are going to add that as well. Okay, which is good. And because ESG is just going to follow suit. They're looking for some leadership, and if this global standard starts to do it, they'll follow suit. I believe this is going to lead to autonomous or the automation of emissions inventory reporting. And the technology, including AI, is going to lead the effort in actual versus formula-based reporting. And it's going to really take AI to do that. And by the way, we're working on that. And this will also lead to a carbon credit trading system, which, by the way, is in a brand new Methane Waste Prevention Act that's coming out, carbon credit trading system. But on the good side, if you actually can qualify for carbon offsets, you're going to help fund this transition to real-time actual measuring of greenhouse gases, right? Because you'll be able to fund technology with carbon offsets that you're earning in the credit trading system. And trust me, every other company that's claiming they're going to hit net zero is going to buy your carbon offset fees, okay? Right. Including companies like Apple, who say we're going to be net zero. Man, they buy billions of dollars of carbon credits in order to hit that number. Right. And that's all going to be, it's going to be the basis for ZEEKs. There, I said it first. You heard it from me, man. ZEEKs, zero emission energy credit trading system used by electrical generators, that we're going to cover in the next episode. Talk about a tease. But yeah, as we get more into actual measuring, real time, continuous, data is the key. Data is what feeds these trading systems. Otherwise, you just make stuff up. Yep. Okay. And it's no fun to make stuff up. You got to, if you're going to actually pay for a carbon credit, it better be based on some real data. So I predict, and I'm saying it here too, I do believe that a lot of the crypto technology, like blockchain and smart contracts and all this stuff, is going to enter into all this stuff. Okay. Yeah, because people are going to want to lock up and say, hey, I've got this carbon credit. Here's how I earned it. Here's the data. It's in a smart contract that's now propagated across the blockchain. Wanted to give you an idea what OGMP 2.0, it's brand new for the US, but again, 30% of all the oil and gas company, that's being produced is already signed up for this. Thanks for watching.